Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm just going to be doing a makeup look of the day with the items that have been in my Shop My Stash for about the last 3 or 4 weeks. I am quite behind on updating what's in my Shop My Stash. So that's coming along with a collection review with swatches broken up into categories. So if you're interested in that, I hope that you'll subscribe, ring the bell so that you can get notified of future videos. If you like using what you own and shopping your stash, if you like duping the vibes, if you like saving money, I hope you'll stick around and have some fun talking about makeup. Let's go ahead and get started with today's look. So I've zoomed you in quite a bit. I hope this is looking pretty good. You may have noticed my new background. It's only been like over a year in the making. I also have my fun headband on because I did my skincare this morning, which is pretty typical. So I did that off camera, as well as I put on my moisturizer. I've been trying, moisturizer is one of those things where I don't like to have more than one open at a time. Very rarely would I have like 2 full-size moisturizers open at the same time, like face moisturizers. Maybe that seems weird. Maybe you have another product that you don't like to have 2 of something, so comment below and tell me what that product is. But I've been trying the Versed Dew Point Moisturizing Gel Cream. And I picked this up at Target a while back, and I've been using it pretty consistently. I noticed that my previous moisturizer that I had used for years just wasn't fully absorbing into my skin, and it was leaving like a layer. So I've been trying this. This is 2 fluid ounces. I've been using it for just a little over 50 days. I like it so far, and I'm about halfway through. But I've been really enjoying mixing the Milani Prime Light Face Primer with the Hawaiian Tropic Silk Hydration. And I like to mix these as part of my primer sunscreen situation. And sometimes I'll even go in with the La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer sunscreen first, and then I'll put my concoction on top. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today because we're going to do eyes first. So let's just get into it. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. I cut my shadow shield in half, and I like to use these and use these multiple times, and I use them a couple of ways. So one way would be to put it here, or I can flip it around on the other eye and use it sort of something like this. So I really like these. They're not very expensive. I find that with my hooded eyes, I'm trying whatever strategy will work, honestly, because I feel like I had to change my memory card, so there might be a small gap, but I went ahead and put my shadow shields on. I'm going to be using a neutral palette today, like a neutral brown palette, the I Think I Love You palette. This is a discontinued palette from ColourPop, but I still like using what's in my collection, and this could be a palette that you might have. And even if you don't have this palette, I don't want you to over focus on the palette name itself, because you could easily duplicate this look with a lot of other palettes. Just gonna lightly set my eye. I find that works pretty well for me. I think I was mentioning in the previous little section that I was kind of struggling. I've been struggling for years to kind of just come up with like an easy, like what's my go-to, not look as in color story, but what's my go-to eyeshadow strategy. For a long time, I didn't do eyeshadow. I kind of gave up for a while. And I kind of got back into it maybe 4 years ago. Oh, I remember what I was saying. So you could easily dupe this look that I'm doing today with really so many palettes. You could do something similar with the ABH Sultry palette. You could do something similar with the ABH Sultry Dupe palette from CC Color or City Color. It's called Feverish. I own that palette. It's quite powdery, but I find that it's user friendly because it is so powdery. And it's pigmented, but it's not overly pigmented. And I find that to be helpful for my, I'm not a professional. I play a professional in my home when I put my makeup on every day. But in fact, I am not a professional. So I'm actually using the side of this dome brush, and I'm using it that way so that I can lay it down and tuck it under my orbital bone. These are just random things that I have picked up over the years that seem to work. I'm also, I get kind of impatient with my eyeshadow because I've spent so long trying to figure it out, and half the time it just comes out however it comes out. Take this Milani flat packer brush, and I'm going to pick up some of that mid-tone, slightly darker brown. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the Sultry palette, the Sultry Dupe palette, the Born to Run palette could be an option. There's a Milani Mad for Mattes palette that could work. Basically, any palette really could work for this type of brown if you had a separate black. I'm trying to think of palettes with a black. I mean, there's lots of discontinued palette. In my collection, I have the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. That's a great palette. They never should have discontinued that formula, in my opinion, is superior to their current formula, but we may never know. That's like one of those mysteries that we may never know. And gosh, I'm sure, if you wanted a slightly warmer version of this look, you could use the California Love from ColourPop. If you wanted something even more neutral than this, you could go with the coconut. I mean, really, there is something there. It's very likely that you have something in your collection. So I think one of the things that I want to focus on my channel is that I'm not encouraging you to buy, because eyeshadow palettes are my weakness. So I don't want to encourage you to purchase an eyeshadow palette if you have something in your collection that can be used. If you have the Natasha Denona, what is it, the gold? If you wanted to use the Glam, the cool tone version, I have the Alter Ego dupe version of the Natasha Denona. So that could be something. So it's very likely, even if you have a quad, any kind of quad, doesn't have to be fancy. If you have one of those new Catrice, I think those are actually quints. I think there's 5 shadows in those, or if you have an e.l.f. bite-sized quad, like something warmer could be the pumpkin one, or even the truffle. There is likely something that you already own. So I'm just smoking this out, doing a regular old look, I'm not being super precise. I find that when I try to be too precise, I end up either over blending or under blending, and then, you know, anxiety sets in. So I was creating this kind of angled shape using my shadow shield as like a guide, and I'm creating kind of what looks like a disaster. Okay, so I'm going to, I think this is like as good as I can expect to get it. Just bring some of that darkness, the darker brown back a little bit, and kind of pat it, sweep it to match up with that metallic that I put down, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And then if I feel like I need it, I might even re-intensify the black just a smidge down here. Again, using my shadow shield to kind of help guide me. That looks very satisfying, and in typical Leanne fashion, they do not match. And we will try to blend them to make it look a little better. Let's zoom out. So now I'm going to add a little more sunscreen, but I'm going to mix it with the Milani Prime and Find. This is a concoction I've been playing with for a couple of weeks. I really like it. It's going to give me super glow, and I'm not going anywhere since I'm working from home. I'm not going to be wearing a mask today. Probably wouldn't do this if I was wearing a mask, and since I have dry skin, this works really well for me. If you have oily skin, then you probably would not, you know, you might love the glow of the Milani, but you might not need all the hydration. I'm not going to add any new product. I'm just going to take this brush that I was using and maybe smoke out the edge of this black a little, just to maybe soften it, since we kind of got into a situation where my angles were not quite matching. So I'm just going to try to clean that up a little. I can add something if I need to. I was trying not to. I mean, they are definitely not even. I'm just going to move forward with my life. I'm going to try, I think since I'm doing something very neutral, I'm going to use this NYX Mahogany. This lip liner, I like the tone of it. I'm kind of just going to shade in and do like a faux ombre. I like the idea of overlining my lips, but every time I try to do it, I feel like it just does not look attractive. Okay, so I decided to use the Milani Sugar Plum on my lower lash line, and then I used the Milani Stay Put Waterproof Eyeliner in, it looks brown, but I'm sure it has a fancy name, 03 Hooked on Espresso. And what I did with this was I tight lined, and then I carried it down a little bit over that sugar plum that I put on the bottom. And then I just wrapped it around a little bit and used my pointed brush that I had used on the black to smudge out that brown eyeliner and kind of wrap it around a little bit. I'm kind of liking how this lip liner is looking, so I think I'm just gonna put, I have a couple of things that I'm trying to use up. Physicians Formula. I'm not using it up because I don't like it. I'm using it up because 2 came in a pack. and I just don't want it to expire. And I do have some other lip oils that I really like the one from ColourPop. Surprisingly, the one from Jaclyn Hill is amazing. The plumping clear one from Revolution is actually really good. So let's me throw on some mascara, and I will come right back. Okay, I think this about does it. I've been using the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Luminizing Setting Spray in this week's, or for the last couple of weeks, the Shop My Stash. I haven't fully decided how I feel about it, but I wanted to use it today so that I could keep getting some use out of it. I also used the Bad Gal Bang mascara when I curled my lashes, and I just put mascara today on the top lashes since, again, I'm not really going anywhere, but I did want to look put together. I used a little of, this is my favorite dry shampoo. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I really love it. It's the Living Proof. It is so pricey though. I got this one from my mom, so shout out to my mom. I really like it. I used a little today to zhuzh up my hair. Again, even though I'm just working from home, I still like to feel put together, and I like to be ready in case I need to run out to the post office, or in case someone wants to turn on the camera. You know, yeah, it could happen. So I like to be prepared, but this is my look for today. Remember, you can use what's in your stash to recreate practically any look. Don't forget to comment below your favorite palette that you've been using regularly, maybe in the last month, as well as a new palette that's been released that you've got your eye on. Maybe it might be one that's on my list that I want to dupe the vibes. So I'm so looking forward to seeing you come back, and I'm not sure what order this will be in, but my collection videos might already have been launched, so I hope maybe you'll check out one of these other videos and stick around, maybe even subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.